MashaAllah.
Hello, this is Becoming Public. I created this show for the one who would like to be seen, who would like to be heard, who would like to find their own inner voice, their true voice. And today I have very beautiful and very special guest, especially for me. This is first female guest at this show. She's an author of bestseller book on Amazon. This is Jocelyn.
Hi, Eva.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Um, I know you wrote your book, and this is your blueprint. It literally the name of it, My Blueprint. You can check on Amazon. This is about your personal journey. This is and to be that open with your readers and to be so vulnerable. I just want to know, how did you overcome this wall? I can open myself and be as true, as vulnerable as I am to myself, to people.
So the journey was a bit tough at the beginning because, as you mentioned, the wall was very, very, very high. And it took me years to take action. So the idea initially came up from my children. I used to sit with them every weekend. We have like few hours for ourselves, discussing things. I instill in them values, talk to them about my past, about my childhood, and so on. And they got so excited about few stories that they said, "Oh, Mom, you have to write a book." And I said, "Yes, one day." And that one day never arrived. It was always that one day. And in 2024, 2023, I was discussing something with a friend, and he just said, "You know, with all your life, you really have to write a book." I said, "Yeah, it's in the process somewhere in my mind." And he said, "No, really, you have to write this book because a lot of people will learn from you, from your experience." To come to your question, it was cooking for years in my mind, but then when I put it on papers, I wasn't that open as the book is now. I wrote few things, general, but then when I was reading, I said, I have to be authentic with people. I have to tell the truth, no matter how hurtful it's gonna be to me or to others, because I mentioned many people in the book, of course. And so the decision to be first integrity, which like these three things for me are very important: integrity, authenticity, and truth. So I said, I will write it this way. And if not, I'd better not write it because it doesn't make sense. Like, nobody wants to read about something you're hiding information, or you're like, of course, there are many other things that are still not in the book. It's just whatever flew or was flowing to me at the time when I was writing and when I was editing. After my editor, I kept editing, and she would edit, and then I edit again. Like, we kept back and forth with this. Being truthful, authentic, and integrity, they are values that I function with my family, with my clients, with my friends, with everyone. Without that, it wouldn't have gotten the success it did, because I was so truthful.
The book really showed things that very difficult to express. You was sharing it with your family as stories, and it became your story on a paper that you're ready to share with people. This is very personal, and I understand the difficulty. And before you start this journey of authenticity, of being truthful, being open, you barely understand that it takes so much courage. So
yes.
Bravo to you that you overcome it. Did you do some exercises? Did you sit with yourself, journaling? Did you face your fears?
I was too conservative. I was the shy person that doesn't express anything. I mean, for me to get to the point where I can write the book, of course, I've been working on myself for years to clear that fear. Closed, I don't tell anyone anything. Even when I had issues with my ex-husband, even my own family, my parents, my siblings, nobody knew about it till a few years later. Like, I'm not the person who comes and talk and, express myself. I'm the one who, struggle silently, try to figure out the situation, try to find a solution. So I never expressed myself. And then from that to, to bring out everything, I was surprised myself, actually. But again, that's a sign of healing. Like, the things that I wrote, all the information that are there are the information that I healed from, whether the relationship, the marriage, or the war. Issues that I functioned with were because they were stored in me, in my cells from the war. That fear was already in me because of the war that I lived, during my childhood or my teenage time, actually more. Because I was 10 years old I was 9 actually when the war broke, but then when we had to be displaced from our city, I was 10 years old. That experience actually, I thought it's gone and I thought it's not affecting me. But when I happened to get the edit, to read it, it was the same time, the same summer that the war broke again in Lebanon. And then I could see on TV how people are displaced, they're leaving their homes, they're carrying a bag and then leaving everything behind, sleeping on the roads. Luckily, I was lucky, my family and I, we didn't have to sleep on the road. We had a house ready for us from my dad's friend. But I understand, I feel what they were feeling. And that moment when I was reading this, I was crying as if now it's happening to me. So the book helped me heal that aspect. So the other aspects of my marriage, my failed marriage and other things, they were like kind of healed, gone from my system, from my cells. But the war wasn't. The war was still there, and it did heal that moment when I was editing the book.
So the book even healed you when you produced it as your product.
That part, that aspect. And it took me, so usually it would take me, let's say, 2 weeks to finish the edit and send it back. It took me 2 months. Mm-hmm. Every time I opened the notes to read, I start crying as if really it's happening now. So this was my real, and then I wrote, and then I cry, and then I heal, and then and then like layer after a layer until really I felt like now I can write it again. And then I added things, of course. I added many information after that in the book.
Yeah, I like that in the book, after each chapter, you was putting exercises that might help others as well. And was probably, this is your journey, part of your journey, how you was healing yourself, that you shared in the form of exercise. That was really like thoughtful and nice touch, like unique for books. How, like, what genre you would put your book to?
It's actually in between. I can't say biography because it's not biography, but at the same time it is biography because I talk a lot about my own experience and my life, the progress of my life. It's more, I think, more on self-development. And in Virgin stores, they placed it now on self-development shelves, not biography, because it's not really a biography. Despite that, I talk in details about my life.
This is very interesting that this book itself, it was self-development, even to reach to write it, and it is right now helping others. That's very interesting. Where did you have a chapter that you put in a draft at the beginning, and then you decided, no, it's too much to share, and you removed it?
Not really, no, the opposite. I was sharing, as I said in the beginning, I was sharing little, kind of superficial things. And then I started, like when I read it, it just started flowing. I didn't even think about it. I just started reading, and I started adding up. Like, it's the opposite. I added more than I removed. Maybe I removed one line or two just related to my ex-husband, just so my kids are not hurt. That's it. But other than that, everything was like additional.
So what, I know that you're also a healer. Sorry. is in acupuncture, you would connect some dots in your body and will help your energy to go through easily. What kind of flow you could recommend, for example, to overcome the fear?
Well, when people work on fear, I guess they work on everything, because everything is starting from fear. So worry, sadness, anger, they all stem from fear. So I'm glad you asked about fear, because when you heal fear, you somehow are healing the rest. You start functioning differently. Like I told you with my book, I was the most fearful person on earth from everything. I would be scared if my kids are late 5 minutes. I would start, worrying and panicking. I'm the one who lived in fear all my life, from childhood to a few years ago. And now, because I healed fear, I'm so more open, and I can just let's say, make an intention for the safety of my kids, and I truly believe that they will be safe. Like, this is the most close example I can give, because I worry most about them. So I can show you a flow, and the flow is from a modality called Jinshin Jutsu. Jinshin Jutsu is a Japanese ancient art that was rediscovered maybe 100 years ago. And it is from like 5,000 years ago. It works by using the hands, our hands, to touch specific points with a specific sequence that help us heal and help us clear fear and worry and anger and sadness. So to clear fear, we do usually left and right. I will do the right flow. So we hold the left hand, we put the left hand at the right back, the lower back, like on the kidney area. And the right hand, we put it on the thigh, on the left thigh.
Yeah.
So this is the first step. And usually you have to stay like this at least for 5 minutes. And then the hand on the back will stay there, will not move, and then we will move this hand. So we sit like this.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the back of the head on the bone. Again, 5 minutes. I'm just showing, we don't do this, we just rest the hand. And then on the neck, again 5 minutes. And then on the shoulder, and then on the back rib cage.
Okay, and from both sides, or still keep
just
it at the
on
left?
the one side. So we're just following on one side.
So we're doing one side, and then we have to do second side.
You don't have to, but like this is, you don't have to do both sides. You can repeat the same side all the time, and you can do either or, whichever. Actually, the more you allow your body or your hands to go, to flow, whether left or right, the better it is, because our body know where it should be. Like intuitively, it is in your consciousness that what you need to do, left or right.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic to me, and I would also like to open up and share with you like my vulnerability, that this is my book. So and in order to overcome these fears and to know how people, how other making it, how did they step into the world and just just look at me, it's who I am. And for me it was always fascinating. I was just admiring it. So what do you think about the energetical blockages in our body that can keep this fear, or this would say obstacle, that not letting people to be themselves fully?
So usually the first, not only physical, will go mental, because it's usually mental, emotional, the block, that it manifests later on in the body. It's always mental, emotional first. So usually people are afraid of failing. You probably must have thought of that. What if it doesn't work? What if people don't like it? The judgment of people, and the judgment not of people you don't know, of strangers, the judgment of your family, your friends, the close people to you. Because we are more worried and scared from the close people to us more than strangers. If a stranger would say anything, you don't bother, you don't care. But if your parents or like the close people to you, they judge you and they comment and they give you negative comments, that's what affect you. So usually these are the main things that people are worried about, and this is what blocks you and what makes you not move forward with the idea or the project you have in mind or you want to achieve. So I'm happy for you that you broke that barrier and you reached here to do this. You must have worked on your mind a lot to break this barrier or to break this wall. And when you stop worrying about what people think, what people will say, what people will judge, and how people will judge, then things, and this is not only with a podcast or with a book, it's with everything in life. When you stop worrying about others and their ideas and their judgment and their opinion of you, then you can move forward in life. Mm-hmm. For me, I always love to give this exercise that you sit and journal, you write, you express yourself in writing. And I love always to start with what would it take for me to clear these blockages? What would it take for me to allow myself to flourish? So would you rather stay in the dark, or let's say not the dark, would you rather stay where you are because you don't want people to judge you, or you want to flourish and thrive and do what you want to do? So I would ask myself this question, do I want this or that? Obviously, I will choose to, and I went through this myself, of course, because I'm doing my work and the healing and the coaching and all of this for years, but I'm not out open in the social media for years. I started posting something on social media because of my client. They insisted, but also I had a barrier at the time, and then I said, I'm doing this to help people. It doesn't matter how I look, what I'm wearing. Actually, even my son told me that you don't worry what you want to give the message, just give the message. Don't worry about the rest. And this is what broke also that wall for me, or that barrier. So it's always you ask yourself, I'd rather stay in where I am, or I take the risk and whatever people want to say, they can say. And then you help yourself by writing, by expressing this worry and the fear in writing, because you clear at least 50% of that fear by writing the emotion and the worry that you're feeling.
You know, I heard one thing, that there is a fear, what if it's not going to work? And there is another side of it, fear, what if it will work?
Yes.
Yeah. When we imagine ourselves as our, let's say, like me as my higher self, like my best version of myself, somewhere there, life of that best version of myself, and life of me now, where my nerve system feels comfortable, when I'm like kind of fine, even if I feel that I'm not satisfied enough and I need to be there to feel happy, I cannot be this anymore, I'm going there. But the fear to come and to be this person, the best version of yourself, how are you dealing with this?
When you tell yourself, or you ask yourself, I'd rather stay there, or I'd rather go into that light, into thriving, which one is better for me? Obviously thriving. It's just a mental work, because everything is mental. Everything is mental. Our brain is so smart and so strong that it creates so many scenarios to you, and even none of it is true, whether for fear or worry or anything. So when you learn how to guide or monitor or control your brain, your thinking, your mind, then you can do anything you want. So the fear of failure or the fear of success comes from the same place. It is fear built in the mind. It's not tangible, it's not real, it's not something that really is happening, even though you have maybe experiences of failing or this, it's all built in the mind. So when you break that, you can do it by meditation, by breath work, by journaling. There are many exercises. You can do Jinshinjutsu, clear the fear, then you start taking action and move forward. Usually the blockages are also the base chakra, because that fear of everything and, you know, like what if, and the expression obviously from the throat chakra, but the emotion is usually here. So for me, I always see, like, if you conquer your spleen, solar plexus, actually, it's called solar plexus, and your base chakra, you could start doing anything and everything.
Very nice. It seems so easy when we're talking about
Yes.
it, but the journey itself, it sometimes feels like you have to break your previous identity to come a new one.
Not true, not true. Everything in life is simple and easy. We complicate it. Like, we learned that we need to complicate things, and if things are not complicated, that means they are, if it's easy to achieve, if it's easy, you're receiving it easily, that means it's not good enough. We learn from childhood that the more their things are complicated, the better. And I always say the solution is simple, and the solution, the simpler it is, the more the mind is rejecting it. So because we learned that you need to complicate, you need to solve difficult problems. So you are the smart, because this is, you learn it at school, in math, in chemistry, in science. So they teach you that you need to solve a big problem. And when you solve a big problem, you get higher mark. So we are programmed that if it's a big problem and we solve it, then we did something good. If it's a small problem and we solve it, you're not rewarded for that. So you learn that you need to be rewarded for difficult problems to solve them, and it affects us in everyday life, because we are trained to do this. And I'm sure you remember in class, in school, at a certain small younger age, if it's a small problem, I remember, I mean, I'm now in my 60s, and then I know in algebra, we used to have, like, if it's a small thing to solve, you have, let's say, 1 mark. If it's bigger things to solve, it's like 5 marks. So you learn that the more difficult things are, the more you are rewarded for it. So even the simple things in life or the difficult things that we can really solve easily, we don't allow it, because we say, this is not it's not something important. And this is how we don't accept and believe that a simple hold on our body that can solve a big problem as fear. Like, I'm sure the audience now will say, like, she's crazy, she would put her hands and that will clear fear. Yes, I am crazy, and yes, it heals, and thus fear leaves the body. There are many flows that we work on the memory cell, like we clear the fear from the cells, because our cells hold, of course, the fear and the worry and all of that. So it's not easy for people to understand and to accept that a simple touch to any point in the body that can do something or can create a big result for them. And I mean, I faced many clients. I don't convince people anymore. They ask me, I explain, and that's it. I don't convince people to try. I don't convince people to do it. I just explain what it is, and I say, it's your choice. I don't convince people, because when someone is ready to heal and to help themselves, they will find a way. They will try without me explaining, without you explaining, without anyone explaining. In any case, I don't advertise for my work. I have all my clients come to me word of mouth, because somebody got the result, then they, ask others to come and take the sessions. Where I'm going with this is, like, people cannot believe a simple thing can give us a big effect. I can say with the fingers, we can hold, because every finger in our hands is connected to an organ. And actually it's more, every finger has connection to two organs, to two main organs, and we have 12 main organs in the body. So if I just hold my thumb or my index finger or every finger for like 5 minutes every day, few times, I am helping these organs, and I am helping the emotion, the anger, the worry, the sadness, the fear, all of them. I can talk about it for hours and hours, and people will not accept it and understand it and believe it until they try it, until they are convinced that they can try it. I mean, probably I was myself skeptical when I started on this journey, and I thought, I don't even remember what I thought, but obviously, like every human, when something new, like you hear about something new, you are curious to know more about it, but skeptical to believe in it. And the only thing that will help people to believe it is to practice it. When you practice it, you will know the difference, you will feel the difference, not only knowing, you will feel it. And when you feel it, this is your
proof, your experience.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's becoming your experience, that already becoming your knowledge. So this is how we actually start believing things, and belief system built from the first our parents, who is like giving their knowledge, and we just making it ours, and then in experiencing it, it's becoming like already our knowledge. But here's a very easy way to prove. Right now, everyone in all over the world, we know that stress causing health problems.
Mm-hmm.
What is stress? Stress is mental work. This is something that bothers you. You worry about something, and for everyone, when you come into doctor, and first thing they asking you, did you stress? Right now, it's literally first question that
Yes.
no matter what you come in with, this is the first thing. So for everyone, level of stress, it's very subjective, because someone can carry really big things and feel it easy, and someone is getting like small task and feel it so heavy. What the advice you can give to people who is getting small things and feel it very heavy? So how like make it feel as easier as possible, and do not have this in your heart, in your body?
Yeah, it's as you said, it's subjective, because it's also related to the personality, the character of the person. Some people are, I want to say innately, but not really innately, because it was their programming to become like this, to be worrying all the time. Because they picked on this from the parents. If the parents are in the mode of being worried, if they had relationship issues, if they had financial issues, I'm talking about the family, the parents, when the person was a child. So that person, that child, already carrying that worriness, that let's say insecurity, or feeling collecting and absorbing all the frequency from the parents. It's kind of embedded in them. And when we said it's in the memory cells, this is how it is in the memory cells. So this person, when they are teenager and when they are older, if they don't heal, if they don't work on this from that age, that means it becomes their personality, their character. It's not their personality and character, but it becomes that because they lived with it. They grew up with it, and it becomes like they are like this.
Identity.
Identity, yeah. Exactly. So healing, there is nothing that can change this, whether you are a child or you're an adult or you are a senior. Only healing. Nothing else can help people to clear stress or clear worry or clear fear or anger or sadness. Nothing can work except healing. And healing, there are thousands of modalities in this world. I can talk about Jinshin Jyutsu because I like it, I connect to it, I feel it, I believe in it strongly from my own experience, my family, my parents, my children, my clients. So for me, it is what I recommend. But there are many, many, many other modalities that can work as good as, and probably even better. So, and now with the knowledge we have, or the connection we have on the social media and, you know, YouTube and all of that, everybody has certain, I mean, you need to be, you need to discern what is good, what is not, but there are a lot of information that you can use and to help yourself heal. You don't have to go to a healer. You can work on yourself. I worked on myself for years without any healer, without anything. I healed from books, actually. I read a lot of books. I used to read a book in 3-4 days, like cover to cover. I would read a book, like I stay hours at night reading, and then if there are exercises in the book, I would do them. So this was my first healing process for myself. And then later on, I started taking classes, different things. But everyone will connect to something different. I cannot tell you everyone has to do this and that. As you said, each one has their own level of stress, their own level of creation of stress. Because sometimes if you look at a person, let's say someone you know, a friend, and you look at her and you say, oh, her life is perfect, everything is okay, but why she stressed all the time? It's her personality after what she has been building from childhood onwards, if she didn't clear them. So you look at her from that perspective, but if I talk to her and she tells me what's going through, I would say, oh my God, she's really in bad shape. So that's why you cannot give a rule or an advice to everybody to follow the same. Every person, they have their own way, their own, like a modality can work for me but doesn't work for you or doesn't work for other person. So for me, as I said, it's Jin Shin Jitsu. You calm yourself, you use the flows, you follow the flows. Anyways, there are a lot of these flows on YouTube, a lot. Like thousands, I think, by now that they are on Facebook and on YouTube and everywhere, so people can use them and can benefit from them. But again, it goes back to the person, what works for them, what they feel connected to, not instigate, but like what motivate them to work on themselves. Because some people, they are in the negative and they are happy to be in the negative because they attract attention, you know, like negative attention. Mm-hmm. And some people are really like this. They want to stay in that negative attention, being the victim, getting the attention from people because, you know, they have this and that.
I just wanted to talk about it as well, as there's so many information out there that you can be the most healthy person in the world. There you can use any tool. There are like thousands of them, and it's open for free. You can find it. Mm-hmm. And why people choosing to stay where they are and like what's holding them there, and you just mentioned
they want to be the victim all the time because they got the attention as victims, they got the attention with that negative situation, and being in that negative is, they don't know. It's the same example with the fear of failure and fear of success. This is the same for them. If I change, if I heal, if I'm not the victim anymore, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna be? If I heal, how am I gonna do it? I'm used to be in fear. I'm used to be this. I'm used to be the negative. I'm used to have this. So how am I gonna do it? They don't know how to do it, and many of them, they don't want to get help. They don't ask for help. They just say, I'm like this. This is me. I'm like this.
It's those friends who's coming just to nag, and then they are like the friendship becoming competition, who had
worse negative situation. Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately.
What do you think about surrounding on the healing journey? Is it important?
Surrounding, you mean environment or the friend?
I think people you communicate with on a daily basis.
Yes, you can reduce your interaction with them, but I'm not fan of blocking people from your life, except if it's like, you know, hurtful and like a lot of like abuse. It's different. Blocking people. The other day, a friend of mine blocked her relative, and I said, "Why did you do that?" She said, "My coach told me to do it." And I said, "No, you're an adult. You don't do this. Like, you don't want to talk to her. You don't talk to her. You don't block her." She said, "Yeah, I blocked her." I said, "This is not an adult action to do." Like, and I said, "I don't agree with your coach. Why would she tell you something like this?" She said, "She told me I have to make boundaries. I have to do this." But that's not the healthy way. You distance yourself a little bit for a short period, and then you discuss when you're not anymore angry and the other person is not angry. You sit and you discuss it, because communication is the most important things among human. So I'm totally against this, not distancing. You can distance yourself, but don't block people from your life.
I'm happy you said it, because right now in the, let's say, healing era, everyone is got interested by like, okay, therapy, should I do this, journaling? Like everyone already understand the importance of mental work. I just learned something, that if person is triggering you, that means it's something in you. Conversation and the conflict happening inside, the conflict that you created in the real world actually was your inner. And there's no more conflict in real life.
This is the best time when someone triggers you. It's the best time to heal that wound, because when someone triggers you, it means, as you said, it is in you, and it is a reminder to heal it, because sometimes we suppress certain things, certain incidents, emotions, all of this, we suppress them for years, and then if something shows up out of nowhere and trigger you at about anything, it's the right time, and it's a reminder actually that now you are due to heal this wound, this particular issue. It's time to heal it. And usually the person that triggers it is not the person who caused it, reminding you of something happened in the past. Let's say someone disrespected you, and then it hurt so much because this person disrespected you. It's not because this X or Y, let's say, disrespected you now, this moment. It's an accumulation of disrespect from other people that showed up now. Why it showed up now? Because now you're ready to heal it.
I didn't think of this, but yeah, that makes sense. That when you're ready, it hurt that at the point that you cannot bear that anymore. You have to release it.
Yes.
And there's, again, a lot of tools that we can use to make it happen. It's good to be in touch with this inner voice. And there are few voices in our head, and one of this anxious mind that's like start creating problems, start making these problems, creating fears, creating obstacles on an easy path. And there's other voice that's coming like very silently from your heart somewhere, just like whispering a little that this is the right thing to do. How you differentiate and how you understand which voice is talking?
They would be confusing depending on the situation, of course, depending on the whole environment you're in. I always follow the heart, and the heart, it means when you ask yourself, do I do this or that, you feel it. Like the more you're connecting to yourself, the more you're connecting to your intuition and to your heart, the more you know the right decision. I use two techniques. I would ask myself this or that, and then how I feel it in my heart. If I feel in my heart like this, then it's not the right thing. If I feel like my heart opens when I say it, like do I do this, then I know it's the one. I also do an exercise. I write, let's say if I want to make a big decision in life, huge decision, let's say moving house, take this leap, do this, like a big decision. And I teach this to all my clients. I take a paper, I put a column, like A4 paper, I draw a column in the middle, and I say advantages, disadvantages of the decision I'm making. So let's say I want to move house. I put the title moving house and I write advantages and disadvantages. So what are all the advantages if I move to that house? What are all the disadvantages if I move to that house? And then I weigh it. Sometimes it's not the number. Maybe the advantages are 10 and the disadvantages are 3, but one of the disadvantages is really huge and big and it's going to make my life different and not happy about it and so on. Then I don't really move because they are 10. I need to weigh them. Definitely, then this become like against the rest. So it's not like just writing them and see if you have more here, then you take the decision. If you have less here, more here, you take the decision of not moving. That's the first part. The second part is you compare them and you weigh that disadvantage, how big it is, how important it is in your life, what is it going to change, and then you can do another exercise for this particular one, the same advantages and disadvantages of this particular heavy, let's say, thing. This is how one of the ways I make
your big decisions.
I make decisions.
Guys, thank you so much for sharing it. And I think it will be the last question right now.
Sure.
And let me think which of them, because I had like a list. What advice you would give to people who just start in the healing journey and they feel disconnected from themselves at the moment? What the first step would be? Again,
I will give a very simple advice. First priority is to connect to themselves. And to connect to yourself, it means to connect to your intuition. And when you connect to your intuition, you know that the steps you are taking, whether for healing or other things in life, you know that they are the right things for you. From Jinshin Jyutsu, to connect to our intuition, this is the bone of the wrist. You just hold, put your hand like this.
Is it important which hand?
No, left or right doesn't matter. So you hold the dent below the bone of the wrist. You just rest your fingers like this on it. And then you stay for like 10, 15 minutes.
Actually, no one even will notice that you're doing a flow.
Exactly, but we also, many people do it naturally. Like many people you see, like you sit and you do this without, I used to sit like this before I learned Jinshin Jyutsu. I used to sit a lot like this. I never knew why. I used to feel comfortable, actually. Even in class, when I was at school, I used to sit like this most of the time. If we are not writing, I would always hold my wrist. When I studied the Jinshin Jyutsu and I knew what this does, I'm calming down my nervous system. So of course you're calming down your nervous system and you're connecting to your intuition. So the more you're connected to your intuition, you will be able to make the right decision. And then you can connect to the modality that would work for you best, because different people are connected to different modalities. That would be my simpler and my best advice.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for the amazing conversation. I really learned a lot, and I hope
are connected to different modalities. That would be my simpler and my best advice.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for the amazing conversation. I really learned a lot, and I hope our audience also got something important for themselves. And thank you so much. And please write more books to read, to heal.
Sure. I would love to write another book, hopefully. Continuation of the missing stories, maybe.
Okay, we will wait for it. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for this.
It was a pleasure, honestly.
Thank you.